Thank you very much. Distinguished members of the committee, thank you for the opportunity to discuss with you today. I have a story about the veterans in my district in California. This is Central California. This is Bakersfield, Kern County. I've had the privilege to represent them for quite some time, but for too long, thousands of veterans throughout Kern County have patiently awaited a new community-based outpatient clinic to be built in Bakersfield, California. Now, the existing clinic is outdated and cramped, and we can't fulfill the needs of the growing veterans we have throughout Kern County. So 10 years ago, Congress authorized the construction of 15 new community-based outpatient clinics. Included in that clinic was Bakersfield, through Public Law 11182. Now, the Bakersfield Clinic is the only location that remains unbuilt, and that's unacceptable. I want to tell you the story why it's not built. And in telling this story, there's a flaw in our law that actually rewards people in the process not to have one. Now, first, veterans in my district had hoped that the VA would break ground on the new clinic all the way back in 2015. However, that hope was derailed when the VA chosen site was condemned by this high-speed rail authority for being in the path of this costly high-speed rail project that now the new governor has actually declined to build. This was among the first of several unnecessary delays and setbacks for the clinic. Now, last October, we thought we solved this one more time. I was thrilled, and I announced that the VA had finally awarded a contract for a brand new, state-of-the-art, 30,000 square foot Bakersfield clinic located on Knutson Drive. This clinic would provide veterans with expanded mental health. It expanded women health care for veterans services. Unfortunately, this award has become subject to severely, which I call dilatory protests. And you know who's protesting? The current owner of the land where the current clinic is that's outdated. One after another, he protests. Because if he protests, there's a dirty little secret. He gets rewarded. He protests so the veterans do not get a new facility, but you know what he gets in his? They double his lease. They double his lease payment. The VA was paying him $1 million a month, but now that the new center is delayed, he gets $2 million a month. And you know who's protesting? He's protesting. So because he protests, he doubles his rent. And because he doubles his rent, the veterans are denied a new facility. We are the last, in the last 10 years, when Congress told us to build these. Our own law rewards somebody from stopping our veterans to have a new clinic and actually puts money in their pocket. Enough is enough. While I understood the government contracting process must allow for fair competition, I do not understand how this process can be so manipulated and how the Bakersfield Clinic remains unbuilt while other VA facilities authorized in 2009 are currently serving veterans. As I said, the taxpayers are now getting ripped off. The veterans are now being denied, and the person causing it all is being rewarded. That should not work in this system. He's approximately getting twice as much, $2 million a month, for a lease on a building does not fulfill the need of our own veterans. Every day delay is another delay that the taxpayers must pay higher rent. And if he is successful, they'll go back to the drawing board and not even use the location that they have already selected that works. This federal contracting process must be transparent, it must be responsive, and it must be reasonable to the concerns. But this goes beyond anything we believe. Lastly, the difficulty in building a new clinic in Bakersfield suggests that the federal government's process for awarding contracts is liable to inefficiency and abuse. I hope my testimony today has shown a light on one part of this larger problem and will inspire future action. I look forward to your committee and all committee members to ensure that the Bakersfield Clinic comes to fruition and that other veteran populations are not impacted by this broader systemic problem. If they're successful with what they're doing today, I will not be the only district that this happens to. Everyone that has an outdated facility will stop the improvement because they'll be rewarded in their own process, but who will be denied are actually the veterans. I think we're better than that. I think it says a lot about our nation on how we treat our veterans. That's why I'd like to submit a letter from SASD Development Group for the record, and I thank you for the opportunity to testify today.
Well, thank you so much. I'd like to recognize Dr. Dunn.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Leader, I share your sense of outrage at the way this has transpired. It's obviously the system is broken, and I promise to work with you to address that as rapidly as possible. Thank you.
I thank you, Mr. Dunn. I know the work that you have done as a veteran yourself, and I appreciate you taking the time and consideration, and you too, Congresswoman Underwood, about this. I appreciate it.
Thank
Yield
you,
back.
Leader McCarthy. We appreciate your time.